Good morning, church. Before I start off, I just wanted to say that sorry for the inconvenience that I wasn't able to join the service for today, but I trust that Ate Jazly and Callista are doing their best, and that's all we could ever ask for. So before I start my actual message, I just wanted to share about what happened during the last Sunday before the quarantine. That at that time we actually knew that the youth was already going to start a service, so we already had a lineup going, that each one of us chose a song and that we were going to lead that song. And Ate Jazzy came up with an idea that we should explain why we chose that song at that time. And I guess for me, I picked the song Tribes, which I hope that you guys had a fun time singing. And that, I guess, since the lockdown didn't happen yet, like the song Tribes, to me, like, it really spoke to me because it had the lyrics such as every nation will bow before you, all our treasures turn to ashes, that he only you are worthy of it all, that throughout everything praise and glory, honor and strength unto our God, that he is matchless, he is endless, and his love is unrestrained. Since the pandemic of coronavirus was only introduced during March, I like the song Tribes because to me it was saying how, like, it didn't matter like what like culture you're from, like what tribe you actually came from, because at the end we're only gonna be singing about you, how you're worthy of it all, how we're all gonna be here for you, that we are all proclaiming that you are holy and you are the Lord Almighty. And that's why I really like the song Tribes before the quarantine, because that's when I picked it. But now, after the quarantine, when we were told that we were still gonna have to lead the youth service and I still picked the song Tribes, I guess it made more sense to me. It was more clearly to me now, especially the lines, all our treasures turn to ashes, because I kind of reflected on how, especially on this school year of 2020, like for some of the students, they go to school for like 12 years and they don't even get a walk or a graduation. So basically it's like, what was all of it for? And probably not just the high school students, there's gonna be like people that went to school for like to be a doctor and they're supposed to be graduating this year. They would still be, but they wouldn't have like the big like celebratory that they wanted for. So it's like, at the end of it all, which I'm kind of grateful for the quarantine because it made me realize all of it, that at the end of it all, like, it really wouldn't matter, like, because it can also be reflective in our life, because at the end of this life it wouldn't matter because it's all gonna lead to the same thing, like no matter what you did. And yeah, so and then church, for our service today, I actually wanted to share my message would be about when we first learned that we were going to be talking about strengthening how the first Christians overcame persecutions, doubt, and difficulties. When our youth was given the task to explore how the early Christians were able to overcome like persecutions due to their faith, doubts from their own minds, and especially since during that time they were probably faced with trials that none has ever faced before. Because right now in our lives, when we face giants and trials in our lives, we can just reflect on how David was able to beat Goliath the giant with just a sling and a stone, because God was there for him. That's how we can be able to overcome the giants in our life, because we know that God was there for David. It also occurred to me that in the face of persecutions, doubts, and difficulties, the early Christians never completely lost their hope, their faith, that it didn't it didn't matter that their faith was as small as the mustard seed, because it can still move a mountain, as it said on Matthew 17:20. They were able to rise above it all because they never fully lost their faith. I mean, yes, there will be moments where we feel as if God is choosing to leave obstacles and trials unmovable. But church, this is only because He knows what you are capable of, which is said in 1 Corinthians 10:13. He knows that you can take it, all of it, that you can overcome all the obstacles that he is putting in your path. And I just want you to remember that that when you are drowning in like the troubles of your life, that your lifeguard walks on water. For me, this is how the early Christians were able to like overcome all of it all, because even though they did have their doubts, that they were scared, they never fully completely lost their hope. They never completely lost their faith, and that's all that mattered. Because even though it's only a small, like, God is still there for you completely, even though you're not completely there for Him, for yourself. He will never leave us. And even throughout the pandemic now, there will be some relationships and bonds that will be strained because of the pandemic, but I feel like that's only showing which ones are actually worth fighting for. That when the troubles reveal themselves, because we can't really run away from them because we're in a lockdown, that it only strengthens our relationship, especially with God. That's it.